Alright, another week of the NFL is done. It's over. Standings change, teams shift in power rankings, all that stuff. And not to waste any time, let's just get right into it. Lions easily handle the Packers, 34-20. The Lions had the lead early with a 27-3 lead, and then the Packers clawed their way back, but the Lions scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and the game was set. Jared Goff had an interception, but went 210 for one touchdown, and Jordan Love had not really as good of a game as his other games, going for 246 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Montgomery had 120 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Jones only had 18 yards. I don't know how you have that little running yards, but all right. Reynolds, most receiving for 69. Dobbs went for 95. If this was in the Lions Stadium, I wouldn't say too much about it. But this is in the Packers Stadium. So the Packers lost to the Lions, even though I predicted this. The Packers lost to the Lions at home, and the game wasn't even close. This Lions team is really good, and I expect them to make it a good bit into the playoffs. And the Packers, you just gotta wait a couple more years, maybe. Jordan Love is not horrible, but he's just not it right now. Next, we have the London game, the game that was Toy Story-ified for some reason. We've got Falcons and Jaguars, and the Jaguars quite easily handled this game, going 23-7. Desmond Ridder, not a good game. 2 interceptions, 1 pick six, I believe, for 191 yards and a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, I feel like he needs to, play more. Because right now, he's not playing horrible, but he's not playing as we expected he would at the start of the season. He's still doing good, though. 207 yards and a touchdown. For rushing yards, Bijan Robinson, the rookie, had 105, and ETN got 55. For receiving, Smith had 95. London had a touchdown in London, which was convenient, and Kirk got 84. The Jaguars are definitely getting back up to speed and will likely start to take the division soon, unless the Colts have something to say about it and beat the Titans next week. But I expect them to start to take over the division soon, and I expect Trevor to lock in more. While the Falcons, they either need to get a new quarterback. What am I saying, get a new quarterback? They have Taylor Heineke on the team, and they're not starting him. Taylor Heineke is a good quarterback, and he will lead them to an NFC South title. But they keep starting Desmond. If Desmond doesn't work out, they got to start Taylor Heineke and focus more on the running game, because Bijan obviously went for 105. But for the Falcons, they just need to, play differently, not throw as much, and just run more, while the Jaguars are doing just fine. Next. Again, I have my separate video for this if you want to go watch it. But Rams do beat the Colts after Colts come back down 23-0. Anthony Richardson. It may not look like the best game to completion percentage, but he went for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and made some amazing throws there. Matthew Stafford got injured. I think it was his leg. I believe it was, he was limping. And he just remained in the game the whole time, so much respect for him. Williams went for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Moss went for 70. Anthony Richardson had 56 for a touchdown. Nakua, he's probably a top 5 receiver in the league, I'm not going to lie. He is really good. And our receiving leader was Ogletree for 48 and a touchdown. Again, I have my own separate video for this if you want to go watch it. But Rams handled the Colts in overtime, 29-23. Next, we have the Ravens and the Browns. Deshaun Watson did not play. That means Dorian Thompson-Robinson got to start. He was horrible. And Lamar Jackson was good. 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he ran on the ground for, I believe, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, 2 touchdowns, only 27 yards, though. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 3 interceptions. You can tell he's a rookie. You can tell he's, a bad rookie. Even though he looked good in the preseason, he did not look good here. Strong had 49 yards, while Edwards had 48. Andrews had 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Njoku had 46 yards. Yeah, the Ravens dominated the Browns' defense. I'm pretty sure this was in the Browns stadium too, so that's not good for them. Browns, they surprisingly need Deshaun Watson. I was not expecting to say that. But they surprisingly need Deshaun Watson to be good. And the Ravens, if they just keep going like this, they'll be fine. They'll definitely make the playoffs. They could win the division, especially with how bad the Bengals are right now. And yeah, the Ravens beat the Browns 28-3. Next, we got the Vikings and the Panthers. And conveniently, the one game where the narrative of Kirk Cousins being good was not true, as Kirk Cousins had a down game today. Kirk Cousins went 12 for 19 for 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which isn't like him, as the first 3 starts of the season, he's been nearly lights out other than some fumbles, and I think 2 interceptions, or was it 1? 1 or 2. It was 2. It was 2 interceptions. And Bryce Young didn't have a horrible game. Not a good game either. Only went for 204 yards. Madison, he played pretty well for 95 yards. And Hubbard ran for 41. Justin Jefferson, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't break 100 today. Well, yesterday. I don't know time. 2 days ago. And Thielen, against his own team, put up 76. Yeah. Of course, the one game where Kirk Cousins plays bad, the Vikings win, but when Kirk Cousins plays nearly lights out, they lose. It makes no sense. And surprisingly, the defense really clutched up here because the defense had a huge fumble return for a touchdown. So, yeah. Panthers, I'd say tank, but you can't tank. You don't have your pick. I don't know what you do from here, Panthers. I don't know what you do. And Vikings, you're probably going to be 2-5 after 7 games because you play Niners and the Chiefs. But hey, the Chiefs looked weak, so maybe the Vikings can win. I don't know what I'm saying. Vikings beat the Panthers 21-13. Sad day as the Bengals get handled by the Titans. Not only because I'm a Bengals fan, but because the Titans won. And I still don't know how we're still first in the division with that loss, but still, I'm glad. 27-3. Joe Burrow, again, another horrible game. He's still in. Honestly, my opinion, I feel like the Bengals just need to just sit Joe Burrow and, just tank the season, maybe get a good pick. And then come back even stronger when Joe Burrow's actually healthy. Tannehill went for 240, 1 touchdown and an interception. Not his worst game. Not his best. I think the Colts can beat him. Although our front 7 apparently looked horrible against the Rams. Mixon ran for 67. Henry proved he's still a top running back in the league, going for 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and a passing touchdown. Had more than Joe Burrow the whole day. Good for him. Chase went for 73 yards. He was pretty mad at when they were talking to him. He said he was always open. And Hopkins went for 63. Titans may be a sleeper team, may not. It's just going to depend how everything rolls out. And the Bengals really need to lock in or just sit Joe Burrow. One of the two. But the Titans beat the Bengals 27-3. Next, the Buccaneers and the Saints. I went 12-4 this week. I could have went 13-3, but last minute, I switched to the Saints. I switched to the Saints because they had Derek Carr. I didn't think they were going to have Derek Carr. Derek Carr sucked. He threw for 127 yards. So yeah, that ruined my percentage for predicting wins. But Mayfield, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception. He still continues to look really good somehow. I don't know how. It's Baker Mayfield. White ran for 56, and Kamara only ran for 51. I think he only got like 33 passing yards. Yeah, he only got 33 for 13 times. That's crazy. Goodwin, 114 yards, and Michael Thomas, 53. Saints, you were expected to win the division. What is happening? Especially with the Bucs. I expected them to go get 3 wins. They were already at 3 wins. So, madness in the NFC South. The Buccaneers could legitimately win the South. And the Panthers, well, they suck. The Saints, they might not even make the playoffs. And the Falcons, they just need better QB. So, yeah, this win puts the Buccaneers, I believe, on top. And they win 26-9. Solidify their position in the division. Next game, we have the Dolphins and the Bills. And I said this was going to happen. Not really a 28-point... Was it 28? Yeah, 28-point lead for the Bills at the end of the game. But I knew that the Dolphins were going to lose this game. A lot of people were betting on the Bills to lose. It's in the Bills Stadium. The Dolphins never play good in the Bills Stadium. I knew they were going to lose. And now everyone's saying, oh, the Bills are the best team in the AFC East. They're the best team in the AFC. They're not. They're not. I expected this to happen. When the Dolphins play the Bills in the Dolphins Stadium, the Dolphins will blow them out. Just watch. And take first in the division. That's exactly what's going to happen. The Bills are not the best team in the AFC East. They may be right now, but over the course of the whole season, they're not going to win the division. The Dolphins are going to win the division. And if not, well, I guess I'm a terrible predictor. Anyway, Tua, 282, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not his best game, not horrible. Allen, 320 for 4 touchdowns. He balled out. A-Chain ran for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really sold me there that they did not use Raheem Mostert a lot. Murray ran for 32. Hill only caught for 58. While Stephon Diggs, if you saw that clip, yeah, I don't know how they didn't tackle him there. He went for 120 and 3 touchdowns. Overall, the Bills just played great. The Dolphins played all right. I 100% expected this, and the Bills are still not the best team in the AFC. Next, Bears. What happened? You were up 28-7, and you lost. With Justin Fields playing the best game of his career, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a game-sealing interception. While Russell Wilson, who, after looking at the stats, he's been surprisingly good this season, even though they're 1-3, 223 yards for 3 touchdowns. McLaughlin ran for 72, Herbert ran for 103, Judy caught for 52, and Moore caught for 131 and 1 touchdown. Normally, I would flame Justin Fields, but I just feel bad for him. He had the best game of his career, and he still lost. You know, I still don't think Justin Fields is that good of a quarterback, but I do think if the Bears had better coaching, maybe he could have ended up better in the league. Sadly for him, sadly for the Bears, they dropped to 0-4 and likely will not win a game this season. At least they have the Panthers pick, so they could have 2 first round, 2 top 5 picks, and then get Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb Williams. I don't want them to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I want to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So I hope the Panthers play better, though. They probably won't, though. But the Broncos come back down 28-7 to win 31-28. Oh, by the way, that 4th-and-1 call at the end of the game there, that basically lost the Bears the game. Instead of going for the 3 points, I don't know what they're doing there. Commanders-Eagles, surprisingly close game. I do now think that the Commanders will beat the Eagles when they travel to D.C. to play their game there. But Washington held up a good fight. And the Eagles, once again, are being really close to these mid-teams. But Sam Howell, only 290 for 1 touchdown, while Hurts had 319 for 2. Hurts probably had a QB sneak there. Nah, I guess not. He probably did do one, but not for the touchdown. Swift only ran for 56 and a touchdown, while Robinson, the other one, ran for 45 and a touchdown. McLaurin caught for 86, and A.J. Brown, in his bright pink cleats, caught 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's definitely looked way better ever since he wore those yellow cleats against the Bucks. But Eagles, I'm not going to say that what people are thinking that, oh, they're frauds. They're not frauds. It's just you got to step it up. You got to lock in more. And the Commanders, like I said, are going to be a sneaky team that could definitely make the wild card. The Commanders are not a bad team, and Sam Howell is not a bad quarterback. Although the 4 picks last year could say otherwise. Last game against the Bills could say otherwise. But Eagles handled the Commanders in overtime, 34-31. Next game, we have the Steelers and the Texans. I don't know what happened to the Steelers defense, but apparently they can't play anymore. The Texans routed them. C.J. Stroud, again, looks like the best rookie quarterback, only because Anthony Richardson could not play Week 3. For 306 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Pickett only threw for 114 and an interception. I heard he got injured. They put in Trubisky. He only threw 5 times. Harris ran for 71 yards, while Pierce ran for 81. Harris also caught one for 32, while Collins had 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. This Texan team is still continuing to outperform our expectations. And they could also be a sneaky team considering how the AFC South is panning out. All I gotta say, we routed the Texans. We destroyed them. Steelers, I don't know what happened to your defense. It just disappeared. And Texans destroyed the Steelers 30-6. Next game, Brandon Staley, the head coach, continues to live another day. Raiders sell right there when they could have won the game. Garoppolo was injured. I'm pretty sure concussion. Aiden O'Connell came in. He threw for 238 yards, an interception, and I think he fumbled 3 times. Let me go see. I guess he only fumbled 2 times then, because I'm pretty sure both fumbles were because of him. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Herbert, I'm pretty sure he broke one of his fingers or nails or something on his non-throwing arm. He stayed in the game, threw for 167 yards, a touchdown and interception. Not a good game from Herbert, but they still came out with the victory. Right at the end there, the Raiders could have won. That's where O'Connell threw his interception. Jacobs carried for 58 yards and a touchdown. Kelly had 65. Jacobs also caught for 81, while Palmer caught for 77. If Jacobs gets a run there at the end of the game, this ties and probably goes to overtime. But I don't really have much to say for this game. Chargers beat the Raiders 24-17. Cardinals actually played pretty well. And now, I know you're seeing this, you're thinking, they got beat 35-16. They got beat 35-16 against the 49ers. They put up better stats than anyone probably would have thought at the beginning of the season. Josh Dobbs continues to outperform for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Brock Purdy threw for 283 and a touchdown. Connor caught for 52. Ran for 52, McCaffrey had a great day. I'm pretty sure he caught a touchdown and ran for 3 for 106 yards. Brown caught for 96, while Ayuk caught for 148. Again, not much to say in this game. It's just a typical 49ers game against the Cardinals, and they beat them 35-16. Patriots Cowboys. Biggest loss in Bill Belichick's history. I think it's his 26th year of coaching. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. But Cowboys destroy the Patriots 38-3. Mac Jones, 2 interceptions. They brought in Bailey Zappi. He didn't play as much either, but he didn't turn the ball over. Prescott continues to have another mid-game for 261 yards and a touchdown. They're going to get exposed by the 49ers next week. Or the week after. I gotta check. Yeah, they're playing the 49ers next week. On primetime too, so I think they're getting exposed there. Pollard ran for 47. Stevenson ran for 30. Henry caught for 51, while Ferguson caught for 77. Typical Cowboys blowing out inferior teams, then losing to inferior teams and good teams, and they probably just lose in the playoffs. Patriots, you're down bad. You're done. Start Bailey Zappi. He's better. That's all I really have to say for you guys. Yeah. Cowboys win 38-33. Just 3, not 33. And then we come to the most rigged game I've... Now, I'm not the type of guy to say the NFL is rigged. The NFL is not rigged. The players are not scripted. But I do think some of these refs are either have favoritism or are paid. And I think we need to look into this. Patrick Mahomes, probably one of his worst games of his career. 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Should be 3. Zach Wilson had his best game of his career. I don't know what it was. Was it Taylor Swift? I don't know. 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have a fumble at the end of the game there, but I blame the snapper for that. That snap was low. I don't blame Zach Wilson for that, and he doesn't deserve blame. He played an amazing game here. Pacheco, who basically carried the Chiefs, ran for 115 yards and a touchdown. Hall ran for 56. Kelsey, with his girlfriend up in the stands, whatever, caught 60. Lazard caught 61 and a touchdown. But Jets had to come back. They tied the game. But at the end of the game there, the refs, what are you doing? Not only did you miss a blatant call on holding on that 3rd and 22 run from Patrick Mahomes there. Not only did you miss that blatant call there, where the dude was getting hold for 10 seconds, but on the play that Patrick Mahomes got intercepted for a 3rd time, they called defensive holding. First off, how is it defensive holding? It should be pass interference. Second off, Sauce Gardner did not hold the dude. And if he did, it was light enough that should not be called. This is the same thing that happened in the Super Bowl. And here's the biggest part of this. Here's why I think these refs have bias. At least for the Chiefs. He didn't throw that flag until after the interception happened. Like, let me set the picture for you. 2 Jets, 1 Chief. The Jet goes a little bit ahead. It looks like the ball's going to land in his, chest area, and he's going to catch it. The ref did not have the flag out until he saw that ball come down to that defender. As soon as the defender caught that ball, he just was making sure that he caught that ball. But as soon as the defender caught that ball, he took the flag out, spun it so he wouldn't hit anyone, and threw it. If he threw that flag earlier, I would not be here talking about this right now. But he threw that flag in reaction to the interception. 100%. There's no other way to talk about it like that. And again, the NFL is not rigged. It's not scripted. These refs definitely have to have some bias to them. Because there's no way that gets called against the Chiefs. There's no way that would get called against the Bills. But it gets called against these teams like the Jets, who frankly deserved another chance. Zach Wilson deserved another chance to drive down the field and win the game for the Jets. But he gets robbed there. Patrick Mahomes slides at the one. That angered me. Chiefs win 23-20, I guess. And final game, I don't have much words about it. Seahawks, Giants. Daniel Jones got sacked 11 times. He sucked. He threw 2 interceptions, 203 yards. Geno Smith gets injured mid-game. He comes back at the end. At third quarter, though, he only threw for 110 and 1 touchdown. This dude, Drew Lock, comes out. Throws a pass to the tight end. A pass to Noah Fant. He goes all the way down to the 1, and they get a touchdown. The backup, Drew Lock, got a touchdown basically on these Giants. If that doesn't say anything about them, what does? Daniel Jones also ran for 66, while Walker ran for 79 and a touchdown, and Bria caught for 48. All I have to say is 11 sacks. 11 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. Daniel Jones is not the future. You need a new quarterback, Giants. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you paid him $40 million instead of paying Saquon Barkley, who obviously deserved the money. Now he's injured. We don't know when he's coming back. And your season looks over. It looks over. So, Seahawks win 24-3. I don't know how long this video is. I had to stop there for a bit to rant. Bills do lead the division because of the tiebreaker to the Dolphins. Patriots and Jets both bottom out. Chiefs lead the division. Stupid. With the Chargers just behind them at 2-2. Raiders and Broncos both at 1-3. Broncos are a little worse. AFC North. Bengals, I don't know what you're doing. Ravens currently lead it. If this continues like this for the whole season, the Ravens will win the division. South, the Colts hold a light edge somehow over the Texans or the Jaguars or the Saints, even though we're 0-2 at home. I don't know how we still hold the edge. It's maybe because we beat the Texans or something. But Eagles own the division 4-0. Cowboys are 3-1. I expect them to go 3-2. Commanders, sneaky team. I don't know who they play next. Let's go check this out. I completely forgot they played on primetime. Yeah, that game's going to be horrible. They're probably going 3-2. Giants, they're horrible. 49ers lead the division with the Seahawks not being too far behind. And the Rams not having a 2-game separation. Cardinals, who could be sneaky, are 1-3. North, Lions own it quite easily. Vikings coming back. Packers, since they just lost, probably are not going to win the division. And the South, again, the Buccaneers own it with the Falcons being just behind them. Saints behind them too, and the Panthers are 0-4. So, yeah. All I have to say at the end here, once again, Anthony Richardson. Yes, I know the screen is weird. Once again, Anthony Richardson, got put up for a nomination of Rookie of the Week. You know we gotta go vote for him. We gotta go vote for him. And if you guys don't vote for him, you're not real fans. So yeah, Anthony